Hey, what's up, guys? I'm here with my client Raphael. He's working with us at Viral Growth. We've been working together since about the end of January, right? Beginning of February. And yeah, Raphael runs a Pilates education business online. They are doing a lot of revenue through paid advertising, but that's why he came to us to help with organic. Raphael would love to hear a little bit more about the business and, kind of the results that we've been able to generate together.
Yeah, well, the certification business that we run has been doing a bit over 200K US per month in revenue on about a 60K, 50K ad spend. And we've been very cash constrained on that because even though it's profitable revenue wise, the upfront cash has been very low. Like we do basically a lot of payment plans on that one. We've actually started a new side of the business, which is a mastermind, which is much higher ticket, much higher cash flow. And that's why I came to you to get help launching that.
Amazing. And what kind of happened once we started working together?
Well, I started with, I think it was about 18K followers on Instagram and like literally did not have a YouTube account, a TikTok account, hadn't opened LinkedIn in 5 years. And I hadn't posted on Instagram in probably close to 6 months. So I was pretty dormant and had never monetized any of it at all. Like had not made 1 cent from any of that. So I think in the last, 4 months ish that we've been working together, I've grown 5K on Instagram, precisely $0 in ad spend. We've made, just got my dashboard here in front of me. I would say we've made precisely $76,243 in cash and 331,470. This is US dollars in revenue with $0 in ads, just through using slavishly like a recipe, the strategies that you taught me.
Amazing. That's even bigger than the last time you told me about the results. So you've been working hard in the meantime.
Yeah, I think that it's one of those things that once it's explained to you, it makes perfect sense and it's pretty simple and straightforward. But before it's explained to you, it's not at all obvious, and you can, I fumbled my way for years without sort of figuring it out.
And how long did it take you to really start seeing some kind of traction, whether it was increased views, lead flow?
I think when we started, it was probably like took me maybe 2 or 3 weeks where I just had to really like you were coaching me to understand. Well, we figured out like what my content pillars would be and what the posting strategy would be, and you were coaching me on how to structure a post and how to research and all of that kind of stuff. And so that was like 2 3 weeks, and then once we got through that, and I actually started posting regularly, I think like within it was like a week, I pretty much made money, and I can't remember the exact amount, but it was like our thing is a 10K offer. So I was making sales almost straight away and growing my following almost straight away. So you're pretty much like I would say within a month for sure. I think to pay back the investment in the program, it was like within the first month. I'm pretty sure we paid it back.
It's a pretty quick ROI.
Yeah.
Nice. What do you think? You said you were struggling for like a few years to crack content. What was like the main struggle you think you had before, and what kind of did we go through that helped you overcome that?
I didn't have a strategy I didn't have a content strategy. I just posted stuff that I felt like posting or that I thought might resonate. I didn't have a monetization strategy, and you just gave me both of those and sort of laid it out. We created a funnel together and we created a content strategy to both grow my following and then monetize the following. And really, I think that's the key thing. I mean, I didn't know what I didn't know, really. And you just essentially gave me not exactly a recipe, but pretty close to a recipe. You gave me a recipe and then you helped me customize it to my specific audience and niche and offer and all of that stuff, so that I now have essentially an infinite strategy of never running out of content. Like I think I've posted at least once every single day for the last 4+ months. And I haven't, I could post every day for the next 50 years and not run out of content ideas. And I have got a clear strategy on if I want to grow followers, what to post, and if I want to generate sales, what to post. So just I think, a simple strategy of how to, build a following and monetize it.
Absolutely. For anyone kind of watching at home, is there something specific or tangible or tactical that you're doing right now that led to the 300K revenue? Like what kind of specifics have you seen work across your specific instance?
Yeah, well, the two kind of the two big pillars of my content, that was a big revelation for me. So basically, I've got a following of Pilates studio owners and Pilates instructors. The Pilates studio owners are Pilates instructors, so there's a big pool. All my followers are Pilates instructors, and some portion of those are also studio owners, and studio owners are my market. And so, we came up with a strategy to grow followers, which is essentially what you call the top of funnel strategy, which is I post content that is interesting to Pilates instructors. So I do stuff about Pilates and anatomy and current topics in the Pilates industry and whatever that any Pilates instructor or most Pilates instructors find interesting. That brings people into the funnel. And some percentage of those people are studio owners, because all studio owners are Pilates instructors and they're all Pilates nerds and they all love the Pilates content. And then I do bottom of funnel content, which isn't the other thing you showed me, which is the monetization content. And that is stuff specifically aimed at the business pain points of my ideal avatar, and then saying, okay, and here's the solution. And if you want my help with that, comment keyword and I'll send you a free training I made. So really, I think it's those two content pillars. One is the broad, attraction content, and the other is the bottom of funnel monetization content. And that has very much simplified my approach. I never kind of think, oh, what should I post? What should I post? I always know it's one of those two things. And so it's very, very straightforward.
Yeah, like for your avatar, they, regardless of how much revenue they're making, pretty much everyone's going to be interested in a Pilates video, whether that would
Right.
appeal to the low, even the Pilates, user, the person who goes to the classes. It also appeals to the high end owner, right? So if you have that top of funnel, you can get all of those people in and interested. That allows your video to get a lot more views. And then a portion of those will follow. They'll click the profile, see that you help studio owners. And then, of course, it's self-selecting. So the studio owners will follow, the instructors will follow. And then from there, you have the lead flow. And then you can have your bottom funnel posts, your photo posts, carousel stories, your reels, and then really scale from there. So that's amazing. So you were saying earlier that you guys are running a lot of paid ads, right? For all the people watching that are spending a lot on ads, what's been your experience between the paid advertising? And obviously it's two different sides of the business, of course, but in general, what would you say are the differences between the people who book a call through paid ads versus the people who book a call through organic, through the personal brand?
The difference is incredible flaky people versus people who show up ready to buy. It's night and day. So to quote you some stats, we spent about 62K on US on paid ads last month for Bloody Certification Business. Generated something like 500 booked calls, and show rate was 28%, 26%. Live call close rate was 30%. And those are good stats for our industry. Like, we have a good team, a strong team of closers. We've got centers, we've got the whole VSL funnel thing working. And we generated 143K, 144K in revenue from that, bit over a 2-to-1 ROAS. And whereas with the organic strategy, I spent $0 on ads, generated I generated 21 booked calls, of which 18 showed at an 86% show rate. And this is like my nurture of those people is I literally send them a text saying, hey, I saw you booked a call, give me a thumbs up. And they're like, thumbs up. And then they basically all show, you know. So I actually don't have no-shows. The ones that didn't show actually rescheduled to the following month or cancelled or whatever. It's I get 0%. I never wait on Zoom for somebody who's not going to show. It just doesn't happen. So yeah, 21 booked, $0 ad spend last month, 21 booked calls, 18 showed, 13 closed at a 72% close rate, 39K cash, 116K revenue at essentially an infinite ROAS, because 0 ad spend, 0 set of commission, 0 sales commission because I'm doing it myself.
It's all to the bottom line.
So we made, within 4 months, we've had this certification company, a decade and a half, and within 4 months of working with you, the mastermind is now 40% of total company revenue, but it's probably 90% of our profit.
I love that. I absolutely love it. And that's the beauty of organic, is that as meta ads, and we spend a lot on ads as well, as they get more and more expensive, it costs more and more to acquire, CPMs get higher. The thing that backs that up and really helps that, stay more profitable is the organic side. So how are you gonna adjust the business moving forward to focus more on mastermind, more on organic? Like, what's kind of the play from here?
Yeah, we're actually going to double down on the mastermind and reduce the ad spend on the Pilates cert and divert some of that into the mastermind. I think we can, and like you do in your own business, we're going to enhance our organic strategy with some paid ads like retargeting, etc. And just put some money into more content creation, post more frequently, etc. So for sure, because the mastermind, organic leads are just they have a better show rate, they have a better close rate, they have more cash, they're easier, they have fewer objections, they have way higher trust. They really do kind of show up on the call pretty much ready to buy. It just, looking at the stats on our business dashboard, it would be insane for us not to double down on that side of the business.
Absolutely. And when you start running paid ads for the organic, you'll see this sort of ecosystem start to work where you'll be getting followers and leads and sales from purely organic, and you'll obviously have leads and sales purely from ads, but you'll have this kind of a hybrid where someone might discover you initially through an ad, but follow you on Instagram, then consume the content, and then come back in. It's like a flywheel effect. So once you start bringing paid in at the same time as running organic, you're really, really, really going to start to see the massive benefits of having that strong organic audience there. So that's amazing. That's going to bring a lot of scale. Finally, what would you kind of say to someone who was in your position before? Maybe you had some skepticism about content. Like, what kind of made you want to move into that content space, start posting more content? And what were your sort of skepticisms or worries that you had? And what would you say to maybe your previous self or someone who might be in that situation at the minute if they're considering starting to, get into posting content for the business?
I had what I considered to be a relatively small following. I had like 18K on Instagram, zero on any other platform. And so I was kind of skeptical that I could make cash out of a relatively small following like that, which turned out to be unfounded. And it turns out to be the case that it doesn't, your follower count isn't really anywhere near as important as the percentage of those people who are engaged and within your ideal client avatar. So I would say don't worry about your follower count because it's relatively easy to actually grow your follower count anyway. That's kind of one of the things that I've really learned in working with you. The other thing is just what I would say to my previous self is like I was sitting on this, like I've made 300K in revenue, 76K in cash in the last 4 months from these organic strategy. That's like an average of like 90 or 80K a month revenue, you know, 15, 20K a month cash. I could have been doing that for the last 3 years, So,
Don't forget that. You're going to be up all night.
there's a very big opportunity cost of not doing it.
Absolutely. Okay, Raphael, appreciate your time. Thank you for jumping on and sharing your experience and your thoughts working with us. And yeah, appreciate everything. Thanks.
Appreciate you, Simon. If you're watching this and you're sort of on the fence, Simon's a legit guy. He stands up. He does what he says he's going to do. His team's awesome. The program works. Sign up.
Thank you.